Out there, sports fans and music lovers. We're downstairs in our den where we put these old movies together. You'll be viewing a bunch of our old 8mm movies we put together over the years and copied them on the video. You're looking at some of the trophies of past hunting trips and some of the antiques as part of the decor. Shows my wife's taste in decor and men. But as we keep panning the den down here, we'll try to explain some of the trophies you're looking at, which is past hunting trips and fishing trips. And let me get just a little bit of music going here. Stand by. Well, I'll tell you, this stereo that I'm using, with going from the big bands to currently stereo-type records, there's 3 settings on that thing. One is low, the other one is high, and for Christ's sake is the other setting. So I'm trying to hit somewhere in between, for Christ's sake, in medium. But as we continue to pan the den down here, you'll see some of the trophies and where I kind of live down here and put these films together. We'll do a zoom in on the little projector where you can see how we copy these old 8mm movies onto video. Right now I'm just panning around to show some of the animals of past hunts that I've been on. And I do say past hunts because since I broke this shoulder and this hip, all I can do is sit and watch it instead of being out there doing it. That's a trophy I took up in Pike County. It took, I believe, 2nd place trophy in Central Hardware's contest. The Corsican Ram I shot that somewhere out of Meridian, Texas. This is the first white tail trophy that I took in Pike County. It's a beautiful buck. Pan around and look at some of the more ferocious animals. This javelina boar that you're looking at there, this will be on the movie, this boar hunt. I took him with a bow and arrow down in Kerr County, Texas. And they're mean. They'll tear a leg off of you, or they'll tear a dog up something awful. As we pan on around to the left, there's another little animal over here. A lot of people haven't seen it. There's the bow rack. That's what I used hunting at javelina. But this little animal over here, a lot of people don't know of this animal. It's actually a native of southeast Texas. It's called a jackalope. Now, they don't get much bigger than a jackrabbit, but when you're hunting those, you almost have to wear the shin guards of a hockey player because they're hell on shins and small dogs. But as we continue to pan on and look at some of the old antiques and the trophies here, down in the den here where we put all this together, very shortly we'll be going in onto the little projector. Here we are right now, and this is the way we copy the 8mm on the video. A high-powered rifle. He's over, I guess, 300 yards away. The wind's blowing like crazy that day. And as you see him run away here, we'll catch up with him later over at a creek bottom, I believe. But he was just too far to hit with that kind of windage at that distance. There you go. But we do catch up with him later. So Way Out Outdoorsman. That's the way we used to put it on plexiglass before we had a video to flash it on. The big guy there in blue with that cowboy hat on is a Dallas businessman. He owns this ranch down there out of Meridian, Texas. There they are. There's that lead ram out in front, and we'll catch up with him later. I want to put a little different soundtrack on the music here. Stand by. Well, I figured being down here in Texas, we ought to have music to go along with that part of the country. Tom just missed that ram again, and he's about to make a tremendous shot here. It's about 300 yards. Watch it here. It's a tremendous shot. Of course, he had a lot of practice. He missed it 6 times up to that point, but to drop him running at that distance, that's one hell of a shot. Now, that creek that you see in the foreground, we sneak up through that creek to get a shot at the one that I want to shoot. And I chose a black one. And there's the one that Tom shot right there. But when I actually hit that ram, and I've done freeze frames, I don't know where the hell he was with the camera. He must have been out to lunch. Now, to your left, you'll see, all of a sudden, you'll see that black one laying there. And when you hit him, you know, the high-powered rifle, you ought to see him knocked down. See, he's laying there. He does a pull away. Not too shabby shooting for a one-shot job. There's little Tom and a big Texan with the one Tom just shot. Tom was a hell of a little guy. He's been dead now 3 or 4 years. He was a vice president of purchasing for Lockheed Aircraft. There's the old Way Out Outdoorsman there to your left, with that big Texan to your right. That's the ram I just shot. Hey, you've seen it earlier in the picture hanging on the wall. I don't think I'd like to hunt like that again. Down there, when you go Corsican ram hunting, they've been implanted down there 80 to 100 years. Kind of like hunting in a zoo. I guess that's why I went back after the javelina with a bow and arrow. It don't take too much skill to hit something that big with a high-powered rifle and a scope on it. They wouldn't let me throw rocks at them because I tear them up so bad with my right arm. Little Tom, we told him, I got you killed and you loaded. Well, that was you want to be a cowboy. I don't know what we got left going here. See what Willie Nelson's coming up with this time. We just loaded the one I shot on the truck there, and sure is a lot of spaces between these songs. Let me kill this thing. Stand by. Yeah, here we are back loading them rams to take them up where we dress them. Here they are before we head northbound into Dallas to the taxidermist. And here's the Way Out Outdoorsman practicing the bow before he goes after that javelina. Looks like I got a bullseye. That ain't shabby shooting for about 40 yards. In those days, I could hit a pack of cigarettes, whether I was sitting down, laying down, squatting down, or behind a tree, whatever, at 40, 50 feet consistently. And if you're going after a javelina boar, you better damn well practice, because they'll tear a leg off of you if you goof up with that bow. Anyway, back to the music. I went back to the happy tunes because the songs left after the cowboy with Willie Nelson were tearjerkers. And right now ain't the time for that. When we get into a slow period here, we'll play some of them tearjerkers. I do like country and western. But here, look at that burr head on that guy. But I was practicing here before I went down to Texas after that javelina. Christine's taking a picture, checking my right angles, horizontals, and perpendiculars. To some of you, that might be a message, and the ones that don't know what I'm talking about won't understand, but a lot of you will. Hit another bullseye, and she's out of focus. Damn. Look at me there. I even got muscles. You better stay out of them hospitals. You go over there and get well, and them, they'll kill you. They damn near did me. 3 or 4 times. Okay, now we're back down there now. We're on this javelina hunt. It's a foggy morning. We're in Kerr County, Texas. And we're with Richard Grona. He's a professional hunter down there. And I highly recommend him. He's out, you can find out where he's at in Kerrville, Texas. They know all about him. Here's I don't know what these animals are. The only dead and a whitetail's the only thing can jump up in the air like that, I guess. Well, that looked like a whitetail. I think it was a whitetail. Whatever. That's Pat Patterson there. He's the president and owner of Texas Aircraft Milling. We got the call on a walkie-talkie. They have got a javelina bayed. A javelina will run till they choose to stand and fight, and that's when you move in to shoot them. There's Tom taking him with a rifle right now. While Richard's pulling that thing out, I want you to watch this old black and white dog while I turn up the music a little bit. He hates them javelinas with a passion. Look at the canine teeth on that one that I just showed you there. Watch this old dog. He'll jump right up in that Jeep after it again. There's little Tom there with his back to us. Look at that old red-bone hound there. I'd love to have a hound like that. These cowboys you're seeing there in the rodeo season, they're rodeo riders. And they're the guys with the walkie-talkies. And a couple of times that day I was running with them when we was going from one tree to the other. Here's another javelina's bait. He's right there in the middle of your picture in the shadow. See him in there? Right there he was. Now Pat will take him with a 270. You know, when you shoot a javelina with a high-powered rifle, they're dead right now. But when you shoot them with a bow and arrow, I don't feel that they die fast enough, and I shoot in a lot of extra arrows so they don't have to suffer so long. But there again, you got to be a hunter to understand any of this. That's me on the left going in. There's that javelina that I ultimately shoot. He's out in the open, and Richard Grona wouldn't let me shoot him out there. He said, if you goof up, he said, we got to be in where we can get up trees. So I had to wait till the javelina got into the trees before Richard let me shoot. When you're hunting with a professional hunter, you don't shoot till he tells you you can shoot. I learned that on this trip. Here, I'm about to take him right now. He tore up a dog with one pass there, kind of out of the camera. You'll see it later on in there. Now he's down. He can't get around, but his mouth is very dangerous. He can snap his mouth so fast it makes a woodpecker sound slow. But you'll see that first arrow's right where it's supposed to be. But I fire in a couple more to expedite his death. Right about here we should do a zoom in where you see the first arrow hit him, right where it's supposed to. I believe that shot was, I don't remember, I'd think 60, 70 feet. Here they're taking them out. This day we killed 3. There was 2 taken with rifles, and I took that with a bow and arrow. And I wouldn't allow a gun backup. I wanted a movie camera backup, and that's what I got. That's the vegetation they eat there in Kerr County. But these javelinas this day weighed 65 pounds apiece, which is large. The average weight of a javelina boar is about 50 pounds. That's the teeth on the one that you've seen in the beginning hanging on a wall. Look at them canine teeth on that rascal. There's a Way Out Outdoorsman on the right again. I don't know if the video camera wasn't centered or the guy taking the picture wasn't centered. You know, a javelina's a musk pig. They're really not fit to eat. Now, this is a hound that I said just got tore up. They give him first aid. They give him a tetanus shot. Now, understand they took him to the vet. It took 43 stitches to sew that poor dog up. But when Richard hunts javelinas, he uses 2 hounds with that red bone as a backup. And if he's hunting a Russian boar, he might use 15. Richard raises and trains his own hounds. He's got 55 of them. He's got a very unique way of housing them. Each hound has got a 55-gallon drum for his house to keep him out of the weather. This is just some of the hill country down there in Johnson County, or Kerr County. We'll be leaving Kerr County, going through Johnson County on the way back. Now we're coming into the ranch. You'll see the first Blazer I ever owned. I'm not still driving them. I just got myself a new Jimmy pickup truck. But there's the first Blazer I ever owned. We're about to cross a little river here. I thought it was Bravos, and I didn't take time to look it up. It's very similar to it. But it's still, as far as I know, they wrote a lot of country and western songs about this. As I said before, I think Marty Robbins had written a song about it. Now, this is a range deer in Johnson County. Spike buck down there weighs 40 pounds. In Missouri, a spike buck could weigh 140 or 150 pounds. But they're so inbred and the range is so poor, they're like bluegill in a small lake. They just don't get any size. I hate these silent movies. Here we go. We're northbound into Dallas, I believe, to go.